This is a sad video. If you've been shopping for a counter depth refrigerator, you probably noticed the same thing. Tons of features, very little said about reliability. That matters because refrigerators require more service than anything else in your kitchen. So we pulled the numbers. The following stats are based on over 33,000 appliance repair calls completed across Massachusetts by our in-house service team. Here's what the data says about which brands last and which ones will have you calling for service. And you will be calling for service, unfortunately. Now, before we get into the rankings, here's how we calculate reliability. We take the number of refrigerators we service and divide it by the number we sold over the past 12 months with a minimum of 50 units sold. You'll see appliance service rates that are higher than any other appliance category. The reliability for the first year service calls on counter depth refrigerators is 12.1% versus 9.5% for appliances in general. And here's the reality. Even the best counter depth refrigerators break more than dishwashers, washers, and cooking products. That's why we don't carry every brand, because some simply require too much service. Before you buy any refrigerator, always check service availability in your area. Let's start with GE at 19.2%. Here's the thing. What you appreciate about GE is less to do with the fridge itself and more with their service. They still run their own service department now called Bogle. That matters if you buy from a dealer without service, which you probably will. The refrigerators themselves, twin evaporators to keep fridge and freezer separate, plus quick cool and freeze settings, nothing flashy, but dependable. Bottom line, this is a decent no-frills fridge brand, just know the service rate's a bit on the higher side. Next is Bosch at 12.5%. Their counter depth line is newer, but they already stand out. The reason a two-compressor system that keeps fridge and freezer air completely separate, more effective than the one compressor, two evaporator setup all the other brands use. Trade-offs is capacity smaller, 20.8 cubic feet versus the 23 cubic foot average. No water and ice dispenser in most models. Still, Bosch ranks second in reliability and is a good choice if you want better temperature control. Now let's look at LG with an 8.4% service rate. That's down slightly from 8.8% last year, putting them near the top for reliability. But LG's had issues. They faced compressor class action lawsuits from 2014 to 2017, and even another more recently. But here's the reality. You'll replace an LG compressor about 1.1% of the time within 5 years. That's basically average for refrigeration. For comparison, Bosch is the best at just 0.4%, while some other brand compressor issues are as high as 2.5%. The bigger challenge with LG and all the others isn't the refrigerator or the compressor issues, the service. 1.1% compressor replacement, a million sold, requires thousands of refrigerator technicians, something no brand has. That said, they offer some of the most popular fridges as well, including the counter depth Max at 26.5 cubic foot, the largest in this category. Finally, LG Studio at 7.4%, lowest service rate this year. Might surprise you given the negativity you see online. Remember, LG sells billions of units. 7.4%, the actual reliability is well below the industry average, and the Studio line loads up on features like Wi-Fi, door-to-door storage, dual ice makers. Bottom line, it's a dependable choice given your choices, as long as you can buy from someone who can handle service if it does break. So here's what you should remember before you buy. You're probably going to need service on your counter depth refrigerator within 5 years. Most of the time it'll be ice maker related, maybe even one of those 1.1% compressor issues. So before you go out and buy a refrigerator, make sure you know who has the best service in your area, because you will need it, unfortunately. We service all these refrigerator brands and all the appliances we sell. You can see all these brands in our showrooms. If you want to see the best counter depth refrigerators, click this video, and thanks for watching.